I can't tell you how gripping episode 1, which we've seen, is.
We've discussed fully.
Thrilled to have Jason in this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I mean, there's a few little bits in that we hadn't seen, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
Watching this, he's such an identifiable character, and you're constantly asking yourself the question, what would you do if you were in that situation? Got a sense of it there, but for our viewers who won't have seen it, because it's on tonight, it's at 9 o'clock, the first one, just explain a little bit about what's going on.
Well, he's a kind of dedicated family man, and he falls prey to a victim of the kind of local youth who are kind of doing petty vandalism around his street, which sadly occasionally happens. And because the stress he's under at work, he's getting a bit older, you know, like all of us, and his job's getting younger, as it were, and the person who he trained is now his boss, and, you know, there's a difficult relationship. So he's feeling a tension, and it's a hard-fought life because his daughter was from IVF, so, you know, so he's constructed this world, and then all of a sudden he's under pressure, and he makes this terrible decision when he's confronted with one of these boys, this 17-year-old, that he does the wrong thing, and he then suffers the consequences. But you're right, yeah, we're trying to... I think my job was trying to be identifiable with other people, like with, you know, real people. How would you... I don't look like Tom Cruise. I'm not... I mean, a lot of people say I do.
Come on.
Robert Redford, the list is very long. But, you know, I wanted to be, what would you do in that situation? And, you know, kind of surrounded by this rather brilliant cast of, you know, people like Jonas Armstrong. He's terrifying. And there's Joe Barber, that young actor just starting out his career, who was just extraordinary. Kayla Meikle, who's a young black actress who, as viewers may know from Time 2, the second series, you know, and David Bradley and Claire Skinner, of course, I've worked with before. So my job is just to be reacting against all these forces and carry the audience with me. So, and I know that you said some very kind things about the first episode, but it gets deeper and deeper.
Well, it's that moment, isn't it, where it's, what would you do in that moment? And it would be so easy to make a mistake or, in the split second, make a wrong decision.
Yeah.
And it's also following the story that you do so well with your character, where it's like, when is he going to hold up his hands and go, I did...
Is it too deep to do that now? I mean,
he seems to just be going further and further in.
Often men might... I mean, maybe this is a generalisation, but often men think, no, I can cope, I can deal with this, I'll take the burden off my family, I'll deal with it. But, of course, it just implodes, and there's a history of him being quite vulnerable and had mental health issues. So Claire's saying, Claire Skinner, who plays my wife, just brilliant, who I've worked with many a time, you know, she's, say, you all right? And he won't kind of own up. And, of course, the world starts to, you know, close in on him. And
it was all unravelling as that initial decision just becomes sort of the spiral.
Yeah, and Jonas Armstrong, obviously the lad that I end up punching, who I put in a coma, I think there's no mystery about that, is that, you know, obviously we don't want him to wake up, because then he'll say what happened. There are only 2 of us there, by the way. There's only 2 of us on the street. But Jonas gives one of the most wonderful performances as the sort of gangland boss of Joe Barber. It's a really remarkable performance and terrifying. So I don't have to do very much, you know. There's a little sort of stream of comedy in it, because the sort of potential disasters are so epic.
Yes.
That, you know, and it's great having people like Claire with me to reflect that.
And it feels like they're just around the corner all the time. That's
exactly
the other thing.
Yeah.
You feel as though they're just kind of... Any second, it could all be exposed. And it goes,
and he's, of course, he's set up this lie, but he's not a very good liar.
No.
He's just a guy.
Hopeless
at it. And so...
Because he strikes me as the sort of person that's just always been really honest and open and authentic about who he is.
And a nice man.
He's just nice...
Maybe how he's found himself, where people are pushing him around and he feels a bit downtrodden.
and as it goes on, you know, there's other characters which are probably obvious now that can control people, can... you know, get what they want, be effectual, and he perhaps sees himself being slightly ineffectual, and he's, as I say, he's under a lot of pressure at work, and which goes to the obvious extreme where I think I can say that he's losing his job. We say that's in the first...
That's in the first episode.
Yeah, so, you know, there's the fear of that, the cost of living crisis, that's touched on, you know, and so how do you cope with those things? And the way to cope is to share, isn't it?
Yes.
You've got to share.
Open dialogue, yeah.
You mentioned David Bradley, who we saw a little clip of him in there, who and his character clearly becomes more and more important as he goes through. You filmed all this in Budapest.
Yeah.
Which I think is fascinating.
I asked the question. I was like, it doesn't look like Budapest.
I mean, what does Budapest look like?
Yeah.
It looks a bit like Warrington.
Well, it looks like... Well, this part of Budapest looks like Warrington. We think it's kind of Warrington area. But a lot of films are shot in Budapest because it looks like Paris and it's easier to shoot there. And many American films and series are made there. So all the departments are incredibly skilled and talented. So, you know, it's one of those jobs where and many actors say this, but it was one of those jobs where the planets aligned and everybody got on so well and was so committed to the project. It's a great script. So,
it's also a great city to have a rap do in.
Oh, yeah.
Because I understand that you and David had quite a night on the rap do. Well,
David did. I mean, David did. I mean, we did. I mean, I had, like, one night off. I mean, every scene, so...
Yeah.
But, David's such an amazing person. We're surrounded by amazing people, actually, and he's so inquisitive about life, and he is a dancer.
Yeah.
So, of course, when he goes out and dances, it's not just sort of, you know, rave or, you know, or drill.
Which it is when you go out.
Ballroom. Of course, yeah. You know, I just do cardboard box, that's me. But yeah, he can do a bit of ballroom, and he's he's full of joy, David, and in his life, you know, he's got a wonderful family life, and he brings all that richness, I think, to his work, and that's one of the reasons why he's been so brilliant over the years. So, excuse me, so. You know, we're so lucky to have somebody like him with us.
And we're lucky to have you in this morning, Jason. Honestly, Kat and I love this.
Yeah.
It's stripped across the next 4 nights, isn't it, on Channel 5?
Yeah.
At 9 o'clock. It's absolutely gripping. I cannot wait.
Brilliant.
It's really annoying. I'm desperate. You know, in this day and age where we can get to binge things straight away, I was so angry that we only had the first episode. I was like, where's the rest of it?
Well, I think you'll be able to stream it at some point. Probably at the end, you can binge.
Watch it all.
It's 4 episodes. It is beautifully binge-worthy. So,
brilliant.
Very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And great White Cross as well, by the way. Great punch.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? You wouldn't think that of me, really.
It's always the quiet ones, they say, isn't it?
Exactly.
The worm that turned,
And by the way, he's an amazing gymnast, so there's strength in there. This is what we know about it. I'll get him to do a handstand for you at some point.
You need to come back
across
again.
The studio
I think so.
Come back again.
Do my one-handed handstand.
Thank you
Lovely
so
to see you,
much.
Jason.
In 2017, then 19-year-old beautician Scarlett Lee decided to try her shot at fame when she auditioned for The X Factor.
Yeah, 7 years later, and she is about to take on the States in American Idol.
You hugging Lionel Richie? What?
I know! How was that my life?
Oh, that's so nice to see you again.
Dermot, I'm going to get emotional. It's so lovely to see you, honestly, and you, Josie.
Oh.
Thank you for having me.
Scarlett Lee, when you came in, it was so beautiful because you've obviously been reunited with Dermot. You've been reunited with, like, Dermot's makeup team.
Sarah,
and
yeah.
It was so lovely to see you all reunited. You could see what a family that you were back then, you know?
Still are.
Yeah.
It was though, wasn't it? It was a very
It was.
tight, like ship, and it was... The thing is, when you tell us, like, when you came on The X Factor, when you get to the studio, you're just surrounded in that bubble of love, really, aren't you?
And you stay there, you know, and you continue to make friends and you take those friends with you for life and you don't get to see them all the time.
Yeah.
But when you do, like, the emotions, I'm like... I'm so overwhelmed because Dermot is such a big part of our household. My mum and dad love him.
I love
There's
your
pictures of him everywhere, you know. Honestly, it's like the Hall of Fame of Dermot. We love you.
So you first went on X Factor in 2017, and then you went back in 2018.
I did.
So how did you find your first ever experience of X Factor?
I think I was young, so I was trying to grow up and trying to learn stuff and go through life. I wanted my drink, but I didn't really know who I was, you know. And being sent home, obviously, I realised I needed to get it together, big time.
You got sent home in the 6-chair challenge.
I did,
didn't you?
yeah.
And who sent you home?
Sharon Osbourne.
I-
Sharon Osbourne, Queen, yeah.
How did that feel, being sent home by Sharon then?
I loved it, actually. You know, I got sent home by Sharon Osbourne. No, at the time it was devastating. But I've got to be honest, I was so lucky to be there, and it just gives me fuel to my fire, really. I carried on from there.
It's funny though, when people sort of would go, when people go away and come back, they either went away, worked hard, came back, or went away, did nothing and came back. But you went away, grafted, came back. So
yeah,
I remember everyone saying, "Oh, in a year she'll be like magnificent," and then you did, and you came back, and then Simon obviously just absolutely took you under his wing, didn't he?
He did. Look, I'm so grateful, and that whole situation was a whirlwind, and I still don't get it, you know, like. I've made the best friends, and it's just been the best experience ever.
Do you know what I do? I do, Scarlett, because you've got a magic about you. And
Got lovely
also,
energy, isn't she?
Yeah, and you know what? You get those knockbacks in life. You get people telling you no, and it's how you react to those people telling you no. It's how you react to those knockbacks. And like Dermot said, you've got yourself better, you've got yourself stronger, and you've come back fighting. I mean, you're a real inspiration.
Thank you so much. I didn't think I was going to get emotional. Here we are. Thank you so much, Josie. That means a lot.
Just fill in the gaps now. So, finished X Factor, came second.
Yeah.
Did so well. And then what happened between them and now?
I had a battle with anxiety, went through a tough breakup.
And is that because, like we talked about the bubble, and then you're out the other side of the bubble?
Damn it, I went to bed with like 100 followers and woke up with over 100,000. My life changed overnight, you know, and it was absolutely incredible, obviously. But with that comes the downside. I had to deal with online trolls of, oh, she looks like this, and body image, and it was just a lot to deal with. So I had a long battle with anxiety and depression, and that's why I didn't do music for some time.
Yeah.
Well, we are happy because you've got a brand new single out now. Shall we have a little look?
Yes, please.
One for you there. Very emotional. Really emotional. What was the inspiration behind that, Scarlett?
It was my life, everything that I've been through, and it was my comeback song again, to just let myself know that I am worthy of something, and if I want people to connect, it has to come from the heart.
You've got the most insane voice, Sky. You always have had. But I remember, like, you know, we remember that first time you got sent home and stuff. You just got just hone it a little bit more. And now, how old are you now?
26.
Right. So you feel like you've lived a life and you've come out the other side. The voice is incredible.
Yeah.
Where did the idea to do Idol come from? So. Is it just like another shot at obviously it's huge. It's the biggest show in the world, right?
It genuinely is, and to be honest, I feel like the luckiest girl to have performed in front of those three icons, and it was a dream, massive dream, and to be given that opportunity, I didn't care if I was getting a no. Like, I was there, and I'm a British girl trying to be accepted in America, and the love that I've received from that it's overwhelming, you know.
Isn't it?
This is home.
You brought Katy Perry to tears.
Katy Perry was crying over me.
Can you believe it?
I was like, what's going on? It was, I don't know. I don't know how it happened, but I am so grateful that it did.
Oh, lovely.
So where are you in the competition now?
I'm going to Hollywood, baby.
So what happened there? What we just saw, what happened there? They gave you this, is that like the golden buzzer, basically?
Ticket, yeah. So it's basically, like that sort of version.
Yeah.
And it gets you through to Hollywood Week, where you perform again in front of the icons. Not nervous at all, like shaking like this. But yeah, that's the next stage.
But, you know, America is absolutely massive. You think of all the talent there, and then you've got that far in American Idol. You should be so proud of yourself,
honestly,
you know.
No matter what happens, I'm just grateful to have done that. Like, it's so many great opportunities, and I get to sing in front of those people, and Katy Perry and Lionel and Luke Bryan. Like, how is that my life?
What's it like, you know, the audition process for American Idol compared to the X Factor?
I think, you know, the core of it is still the same. It's still a talent show. But I will say, for me, I think I was like, oh, it's going to America. How are people going to understand that this is my dream? But I really wanted to live that American dream. Oh, there are obviously differences, but Idol was full of so many great, talented people.
What's that like? Is it intimidating?
Oh, I'm like everybody's biggest fan. So I'm like, yeah. And then afterwards, I was like, whoa. You know, seeing all these people go in and move in the judges, I was like, I hope I can have that, you know, touch on the judges as well.
Yeah. But Scarlett, you're a grafter. That's what we love about you.
You.
You are, though, because it wasn't just about, oh, I come on, be famous. It was far more than that for you.
Thank you.
This is what your vocation is. You love singing.
I just want to do music that I love and work with great people and
you know, you said you're destined for greatness, and you truly are.
Thank
you know what? You definitely got a magic about you. Now, you're so cute.
She is adorable, I know. You'll set her off in a heartbeat as well. Give her a cup of tea, she starts crying this one, honestly.
I want a tissue company to sponsor me, guys, for my tears just lately.
No, your new song, One For You, it is out now, so very best of luck.
Best of luck with Idol as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I love you guys.
No, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Now, our next guest is a judge on the Great British Bake Off alongside Paul Hollywood, but now Prue Leith has taken over Saturday mornings as well with her brand new cookery show.
Yeah, it's lovely. Serving up an array of mouth-watering meals from her beautiful home in the Cotswolds. Prue's got just the recipe for your weekend.
I'm Prue Leith, cook, restaurateur, cookery school founder and writer of 15 cookbooks.
Looks good, doesn't it?
I'm in my 80s, so I haven't got time to waste. This series is all about the things that really matter to me. Family, fun, food, and friends. And some of those friends will be joining me. We'll be sharing simple, home-cooked recipes.
I don't normally tell people about that bit. Only people I like.
And my long-suffering husband, John, is coming along for the ride.
Can you make that?
Under instruction.
Welcome to my Cotswold kitchen.
And Prue joins us this morning. And it is actually your house, isn't it?
Yes, it is my house.
It's actually your house. It's actually... Because I always think all the best stuff happens in the kitchen. The chats, the food, the wine.
Absolutely.
Has it been fun shooting it at your place?
It has been, you know, and one of the best things about it has been, you know, that normally if you're filming, you have to get up at 4:45 in the morning to travel an hour and a half to get there. I wait for Bambi, my makeup lady, to bang on the bedroom door and say, it's 8 o'clock, get up.
She's like Bette Davis or something.
I love it. The fact that you have a makeup artist called Bambi as well just adds to the glamour for me, Prue. It really adds to the glamour. Can we just have a little mention, because you live in a beautiful part of the world in the Cotswolds. Beautiful. And your house is a house that you and John built yourselves, didn't you? We did. Because it is, I mean, it's an important ingredient in the recipe of the show, isn't it?
Well, yes, it is. And, you know, I think there's nothing such fun and so satisfying as nesting. You know, making your perfect nest. And we both have similar taste. And so the whole way through lockdown, we were building our new house. So neither of us regretted leaving the house. I mean, I had lived for 48 years in my previous house.
Wow.
So it would have been a big wrench, but because we have the new house to think about.
Yeah.
And I love that house. It's very, very modern. I mean, a lot of people think, oh, my God, you can't build something like that in the Cotswolds.
Why not?
But we got planning permission with no trouble at all.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. And John is a big part of the show too.
I know. I'm beginning to think he's too much of a big part of the show.
No, he's brilliant. When he comes with his champagne Twizzlers to get the bubbles out...
It's monstrous,
I think it's sacrilege.
Of course it's sacrilege.
But he insists that when you throw a dinner party, everybody comes with him and his little
I know.
stick.
He takes the bubbles out of champagne. I mean, as I said, that, you know, the makers of the champagne have taken 10 years to get those bubbles in there.
And he wants to remove them.
And he wants to remove them. It's absolute sacrilege. If I'd known he had that twizzly thingy, I would have made sure it wasn't...
So you didn't know he got that?
I had no idea he was going to do
And is that the technical term, the twizzly thingy?
I think it's called...
a debubbler.
A twizzler.
A twizzler.
Anyway, whatever it is.
But the two of you, what is clear, Prue, is the two of you are a great team. You know,
we do have a good time. And we have a very happy time anyway. I mean, he's mostly in the garden and I'm mostly in the house. But we did it all together. And you know what's been fun about this show particularly is that, you know, in most cookery shows, the home economists come with a sort of backup chickens and backup everything so that you can make a mistake and then get it absolutely perfect. Well, we didn't have time to do any of that. We just charged on. And so we never, ever cooked anything twice.
Really?
I just did it on camera.
Yeah.
And if it didn't work, tough.
That's
and so quite often it goes slightly wrong. And there am I saying, I mean, there's a moment when I'm trying to tell the whole world how to take a mango skin off the mango on a glass. And I mess it up. It doesn't work. And so I say, oh, well, that didn't work. And so I give the other half of the mango to John, and he does it perfectly.
Oh.
I mean, it's pretty irritating.
Darn it.
And he'd never done it before.
Darn it. But I think that's what's so lovely about the show as well. It's just how personal it is. It's kind of your house, John's there, you're twinkling away at each other and making jokes with each other. And then you have your friends come in. Yeah. And it's kind of... I saw the one as well where Sandy was creating a recipe from Enid Blyton that she found. It doesn't feel like a normal... It feels incredibly personal.
Well, it is. I mean, nearly everybody that we invited were friends of mine.
Yeah.
Or they were people who lived in the Cotswolds.
Yeah.
And we did a lot. There's a strand to it, which I was very keen to have, which we called Food Heroes, which were the best cheese maker and the best bread maker and the best preserve maker or whatever in the Cotswolds. So, because the Cotswolds, we're really lucky because we do have fantastic farmers. They're all small farms. mostly family.
And to be able to support that and promote that is wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good fun.
Absolutely.
There was big concern in the This Morning team at the start of this week, Prue, when there was rumours that you were leaving Bake Off. Now, we need to put these rumours to bed. What is the truth here,
This is absolutely not true at all. I'm still doing the Great American Baking Show. I'm still doing the Great British Bake Off, which is the two main shows of Bake Off. What I'm not doing this year is the celebrity one.
Yeah.
And it's mainly because these things are filmed back to back the whole way through the summer. So you start in April and you end at the end of August. And honestly, you get no time off. And so I'm getting a bit old, and there are places I want to go to and other things I want to do.
It wasn't that... So you've done the most recent version of Celebrity Bake Off. Our Dermot is in it. You know, we're looking forward to
there's
it.
the one
I was wondering, Prue, whether it was because you'd peaked. You realised now that Dermot's been in it, you don't need to do anymore. You've had your favourite celebs in.
Well, no, I don't think so much that. I really don't think it's so much that. I think... yes, I mean, I'm in this year's Celebrity, the ones that we're seeing now.
Yeah.
But I won't be next year.
And how did Alison get on in your kitchen? I saw the brownies. They look delicious.
Do you know, Alison has now made that brownies on television so often. I think it's high time she learned to make something else.
We'll tell her when I see her.
Anyway,
She has
but
been
she is
told.
such fun. I mean, she's wonderful on Bake Off. She was wonderful in my show because Alison cannot be anything but herself.
No.
And you know from this morning.
100%.
She can't be directed. She just does what she's going to do. I remember
The director just said, you were telling me.
when she first came onto Bake Off, one day she said to a baker, on her first morning, she said, well, that's so delicious. She said, I can tell you something. You're not going home, she said. I said, Alison, he might... You know how Bake Off works.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
The next day, you can have a terrible day.
Aw.
You can't promise him he's
I
not
love
going
it.
home.
I love you have to tell her off.
Yeah, exactly.
Prue, we're out of time. Thank you for coming in. Best of luck with the series as well. It's absolutely delightful, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Good.
Thank you.
Well, I'm
Prue.
glad
Thank
you love it.
Lovely
Thank
to
you.
see you.
That show looks like so much fun.
Hi, by the way.
Hi.
So nice to see you
Lovely to
two.
see you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's been lovely hanging around here today. It's been like watching TV whilst being on TV.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Not having any of the responsibilities.
Exactly, it's
right?
been lovely. Thank you.
It looks so much fun.
So we shot it last autumn.
Yeah.
And it's one of those shows, you know, you're so fortunate every now and again to get a show that just lands in your lap.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, please.
Yeah.
I've been supporting the RNLI for a very long time. I grew up in Colchester, it's about 10 miles from the sea, so it was always a constant growing up for me. And then my family in Ireland, in the southeast of Ireland, have always, you know, been fundraisers and supporters of it. So it was one of those shows that it made, and I love my history, so it just made so much sense to me to do. And then we shot the same really small crew. We travelled around the country. We swam in the morning.
You were reading about that.
You know, and we found out there's just these unbelievable stories. Because in your head, you think the RNLI at wartime, OK. The premise, the starting point's fascinating because, for 5.5 years, the world is imploding and, you know, is in conflict. And you have these kind of small band of what I found out quite quickly to be basically Dad's Navy, who are out there, and their sole purpose is to save lives at sea without fear or favour. So it doesn't matter
where your soul
and
comes
this is
from.
this is from 1824. These are the principles it was founded on. It doesn't really matter if we're at war with you, what colour your skin is. If you're in the water, we're getting you out.
So during World War II, they would pick up
Anyone.
Wow. That bit I didn't know.
That was the whole, and they got a lot of pushback for it.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm sure. Yeah.
But that's their whole thing, without fear or favour. If you're in the water, we want to get you out.
It is. The RNLI is an extraordinary organisation, something I'm very passionate about as well. Like you, Dermot, my family are in a small fishing village in Cornwall, in North Cornwall, and the the lifeboat going out in Port Isaac when we were kids was the most exciting thing.
Yeah.
It's different now because they're all on pages, but the rockets used to go off. And if one rocket went off, it meant the helicopter was going out. If 2 rockets went off, it meant that the boat was going out. And we'd run down the hill into the village to watch the guys getting dressed up and go out.
And the thing, I think the thing you could probably equate it to is like the fire service. So as well, so it's very open, right? So, you know, when I was a kid in Colchester, the fire service would open up once a year. You used to
go and have a look.
The RNLI is exactly the same. So if you're down there on a coastal day, you know, on a nice day down on the coast rather, you can go in and, you know, to a point, have a look, and they're so welcoming and open. But I always thought it would be centred, this documentary would be pretty much centred around the southeast of England and confined to the early part of the war, which was, you know, the 1939, 1940s, so Dunkirk and Battle of Britain and so forth. And obviously, a big part of that was what the show's based on. But then we went down to Cornwall. So the preparations for D-Day, they were needed down there. We were down in Mousehole, in the Penlee lifeboat. We were up in Aldborough. We were over in the Channel Islands in Guernsey. So there's so many different
family
stories.
members as well,
so
didn't
nice.
you? How did you do that?
So,
You're proper Miss Marple.
Long story. By great uncle Steve emigrated from Ireland to Guernsey, met a local girl, became a tomato farmer. My mum and dad went there on the honeymoon. It was the first holiday outside Ireland we went to as kids. And I was there and I said, called my mum. I was like, do you think Auntie Daph's still around? And she said,
Auntie Daph?
Yeah,
Daphne.
Auntie Daph. And my mum gave me a street name and a house name. And I'm like, I'm never going to find that. And I had about an afternoon off and I drove around and I found it. And she wasn't there. I left a little message for her, and she called me the next day.
How old is she now?
She passed about 2 or 3 weeks after I saw her. She passed away. So it was so lovely to sort of go there and see her. And
she was in her 90s?
Yeah. There she is, and hooked up with her and had a, you know, and then speaking to my cousin Maureen sort of since. And it was really lovely. And she was, you know, sharp as a tack. It was so nice to see her.
That's lovely.
And so you had this amazing sort of process of going around the UK and working out how embedded and integrated the RNLI and the lifeboat is to all those communities.
Well, and that's the key. The interesting thing is there isn't really a central museum or a central archive. So, which is both a help and a hindrance, but it's a help in the sense that when you go to these stations, Margate, Aldborough, Guernsey, Penlee, you have these incredible stories that are right there.
Very specific to the areas,
right? So
right?
I'll meet a coxswain that maybe has just retired, whose grandfather went to Dunkirk, and he will have the same notebook. So he'll be getting out. So I'm literally reading these pages of basically the report of what happened. So you know, I stood on the Reculver Cliffs with Chris Samwell, and we looked out, and he was just saying, oh, you know, 1939, 1940 here. German Messerschmitt shot down over there, and then my grandfather launched and
to smell the sea
you're there,
air
same
and be
cliffs,
there.
same sea, same sky.
And it goes through generations as well. They all do it.
Yeah.
So it's on tonight.
Tonight, 9 o'clock, BBC
Amazing.
2 and iPlayer. Yeah, it's a privilege to do, honestly.
Can't wait to see it.
Thanks, guys.
Dermot.
Thanks for having me.
Amazing to see.
Thank you for coming in. Oh, so good. And Sir Rod Stewart and Jules Holland join us now. Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Couldn't be better.
I mean, you really couldn't be better. This album, Swing Fever, #1.
Yeah.
I mean, couldn't be better, could it?
Well, we were hoping for a top 5. We were knocked out when it got to #1.
Couldn't believe
We actually went out and got drunk, would you believe it?
I can't believe that.
Never.
By way of a change.
But you know what? I think it just sounds like you're having the best time on this. As though you've, like, rehearsed it and then just let it all go and everybody's had a great
Exactly
time.
that.
I think we sell, you know, these days, I think the expression of joy isn't the thing you always hear in music.
Yeah.
And that's what came out of us. But we didn't sort of plan. We didn't sit down and say, well, let's express all this joy. It just came out, didn't it? It's just great. It was like when we first went in the studio, I'm thinking, well, is this going to work? And the band start playing and I look in the control room and he's in there.
Going for it.
Like, everything's going to be OK, you know.
Bring your boogie.
Exactly. If you have a boogie, everything will be all right. So, yeah, it couldn't be better. And all of those feelings of joy are in there. And I think in a rather miserable world at the moment, it's nice to just have a moment of that.
Agree.
Real
For
escapism.
sure.
Couldn't have done it without this band, though, and without this man.
So am I right in saying, Rod, that you'd sort of laid down a few tracks thinking about it, thinking this doesn't sound quite rough enough, where am I going to get my rough from?
Yeah,
and you thought, I know just the man.
Started in Los Angeles with session men.
Yeah.
And I think there's the big difference. This is a proper band. They play together for years now. So I called him up just before Christmas. I said,
do you want to make a record? And he didn't believe it was me, and the rest is history. What happened?
I thought it was bogus because I've met Rod a couple of times over the years, but I didn't really know him. And his voice says, "Hello, it's Rod Stewart." And I, "Oh, yeah." And, I said, "Do you want to make a record?" And Happy Christmas. Yeah, thanks very much. Do you want to make a record? So I thought, well, that's a straight in there. I said, yeah, sure, OK, well, let us know, won't you? Put the phone down. But it really was him. So, anyway, we got together and it was like... I've been following and listening to him forever.
Yeah.
One of the few singers in the world that can sing any sort of music and connect, as you saw in that video there, and connect it straight to the hearts of people.
Yeah.
So, and also understands, as well as... understands the song, really, more than probably... any other living singer. He understands the song. So, and also understands boogie music because he's started off, like me, with the London Blues. So the idea of doing a record really excited me. So I was then thinking, I rather wish I hadn't slammed the phone down because maybe I could
should have organised some dates a bit more.
Clarify this a bit more, yes. Yeah.
He also has that incredible mischievous side.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Which hasn't left at all. Is he all right to record with? At some points, do you have to go, now, Rod, behave. We've got to get this done.
No, I leave that to Penny.
Oh, OK.
She's the person,
she cracks the whip.
I'm not the... Yeah, exactly.
She's a constable in the
Yes,
police.
she is, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do as I'm told.
She's a fine lady.
She speaks well of you.
She is she's a smasher. And she's
Steady, the show's about us.
And
I
also,
was about to say, she's a cameo in the video too, in
She
Penny's
is.
Right?
and we got on very well because, of course, she is in the police, but I'm in the jazz police. So we improvised.
How did the casting for this go, Rod, when you realised that you wanted that Penny was going to come in and be in this video?
Well, I think I asked the director if she could be in it, and he went, well, I was going to ask her anyway. But as far as the casting goes, the 3 girls in the red dresses are in my band anyway, and the rest of it is Jules' band.
And Jeremy Deller, who's a fantastic contemporary artist, who won the Turner Prize, he did the video, but he said, he just had this... He understood us, and also he's a great Rod fan, which is why he did it.
Oh, amazing.
And I think he could hear the joy in it, which I think connects in that. It's quite...
Yeah.
It's lovely after... It went so quick, didn't it? Everything goes quick like that when you're having fun.
Yeah, you're just really enjoying yourselves. It's one of those records that you play before you go out.
Couple of glasses.
Yeah, get yourself ready.
You're not driving.
Exactly.
I know what you mean.
Get yourself ready. Are you going to perform on tour, or are you not doing that anymore? I know you've performed a couple of times together.
Both of our calendars, thank the Lord, are very full the rest of this year. So maybe next year, and because the album's done very well globally, so we can consider it, and we're going to have talks after the show.
Are you
we're all going to have talks after
the
show.
You're going to do it then?
We're going to have a summit.
Will that be in a bar somewhere?
It might be. A summit is a drink, isn't it?
Yes, it is exactly what it is. Am I right in saying, that, Jules, that this was your very first #1 album?
Yes, an incredible thing for me, which is what this man has brought to me. You know, Squeeze had #2s. I've sold records with my big band. Have had records that sold quite a lot, but never a #1. So it's really gratifying for me, and I'm very grateful that Rod wanted to sing with us because it brought out the very best in us. Because the thing that he wanted was what we did. It wasn't like, can you sort of alter it to make it... He wanted actually us, what we did. And I'm so pleased that sound has connected with everybody. And it's only because of the way that his voice connected that has made it all happen. So it's been a pleasure all round.
And you also connected over your model trains, I hear.
Yes,
is that correct? Would that be correct?
Now, it's not particularly rock and roll,
it
though.
Isn't, but I like the idea of it.
It's funny you should say that. It's bloody... all bloody.
Oh, that's it. You're cancelled.
You're
off.
That's it. Give up.
20 years ago, I decided
I
was tired of being in the closet about model railroads, and I came out and I let cameras in to take pictures. And I'm glad I did, you know, because I'm so proud of what I've achieved. We both are. His layout is sensational.
But the thing is, I have to say, when I did first...
That's his layout.
I did meet Rod at a do somewhere. I can't remember. And I said, you've got a layout. And he said, yeah. I said, I've got one too. But I was treated with suspicion. It wasn't, great.
Really?
It was, what gauge? I mean, there was a few... But once I got past the questions, it was great.
You've got to prove your credentials.
I wasn't just like sort of a bogus. But he's got a skyscraper that's over 6 foot tall.
It's taller than my wife.
Yeah.
It's HO scale.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know,
but it's over 6
See, they're
foot tall.
talking in tongues now. It's like a layout.
Get back to the audience, please.
I said to him that you've got to, for a structure that's over 6 foot tall, you actually do have to have planning permission for that, for this little building that he's doing. But he thinks he's got the planning committee in his pocket because they're only that big.
Got that through, Jules. But that is genuine. You've been doing it for how long now, your model training?
35 years.
35 years.
Longer.
Probably longer, yeah. It's been with me all my life, on and on.
How you gave me those old locos you made.
Tell me how
long time.
God, how big is your setup? Just try and explain how big your setup. I mean, it is.
Mine's about longer than this whole studio.
60 by
60 odd feet by 35 feet wide.
Amazing. The other thing that Rod loves is football.
Oh, yes, I know that.
Many years ago, I came to visit you and Penn at your house in Epping, where I grew up, and I got to go and play football. Is it a clip? We're going to show a little clip of One Night Only with Rod Stewart when I got to go and play football with Rod himself.
So, and here she is.
Wow. You've got training walls.
Oh, don't mess about. My free kicks. It's like a carpet.
So,
there's Penny.
There's Penny taking pictures.
Taking pictures.
That was a blinding effort.
I loved the first words out of his mouth, though, were, you're a rugby player, right?
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, that setup there, for me, was... Forget your model trains. You had changing rooms. You had all the big teams came down and played there as well.
Yeah. Celtic came down and trained. Pre-season, they came down and trained twice. Liverpool came down here, Newcastle. There was a couple of championship teams that I turned down. I said, only take Premiership. But they would use it pre-season.
Yeah.
It was like Wembley, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was perfect.
It was absolutely amazing. You still playing? You still having a kickabout?
Kickabout with the boys. I've had to have a knee replacement, so my competitive days are over, but... I've had some wonderful years playing football. I do miss it.
I bet you still get stuck
I
in,
do.
knee replacement or not.
Still get... Last time I saw you was at Soccer 6.
It was.
Remember?
It was. And then I saw you on the aeroplane. You got your own leopard print blanket you took on with you.
That's right, yeah.
It was lovely.
Do you still travel with a leopard print blanket?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I'm very fortunate. I travel everywhere privately. So...
you get looked after.
You know, I've earned the money. I can spend it on what I want.
Including potholes, Rod. We understand you've been mending the potholes in Harlow?
Yeah. I was driving my Ferrari and it got stuck in a pothole. So I decided to go out and fix it myself.
And the local council were thrilled, I'm sure, that you did all the hard yards.
They weren't amused, I can tell you, because we didn't use the proper stuff.
There's nothing like a bit of DIY.
Yes,
absolutely.
At least you had a reflective jacket on there as well.
Yeah, high vis. Safety first.
Safety first.
Gents,
thank you, guys.
Thank you. It's really a real treat to have you both in. Loved it. Really loved the album. And definitely get that summit going. People want to see you perform.
Well, good luck to you two.
Yes, I hope the show goes really well.
They're the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Round of applause for them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, look, the whole crew. Well done.
I love you. Love them.
Because
so far, nothing. We haven't cancelled you.
Not yet. Not yet. Rod's done his best, but not yet. We've still got.
And we are delighted because Sally joins us now. Sally, do you ever put your feet up? You were here not long ago, weren't you, with Madame Blanc Mysteries?
I bet you think I'm a celebrity star, don't you? Just, can I come in?
You've been hanging around here since then.
Can I come in?
Love Rat, talk us through it. Talk us through the storyline.
So it's a fantastic script by Polly Buckle, and it's just... Basically, it's about this woman who has had a really... She's absolutely in love with her husband, but her husband's constantly doing business deals that go wrong, and she just can't take it anymore. Played by the brilliant Neil Morrissey, basically she's got this she divorces. She's got this holiday time. She just goes to where she's always gone in Cyprus, and she's there, and she meets this other divorcee. She thinks this lovely bloke who owns the hotel, and they get on and they have a lovely time, and basically fall madly in love. She thinks.
Yeah.
And that's where the rot starts. And it's just such a horrible thing that happens to her because he steals her heart as well as her money. But that's not what the story's about. That's literally in the first ep. It turns into this really dark psychological drama and you go down a million... I love that. I can't stand at the moment when you get a bad ending. And you're giving all that commitment in, and then you get an ending and you go, is that it? You know, I've been busy. What's this? I read the script and the ending, I went, oh!
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and I write mystery, so I was like, I didn't see that one coming. It was great.
How many episodes is it?
4, so it's over every night.
Oh, great.
So it's like one of them, you know, and that Channel 5 do so brilliantly, like over every night. So, yeah, I was really excited to do it, you know. So it was Neil Morrissey, Gerald Kidd, who was absolutely lovely. And we just had a great time doing it, but it's dark. It's, yeah, it's... Yeah, it's dark.
I love the ones where... I just love the ones where you just never know what's around the corner.
It really goes like that, honestly. You go down there, because I was like that with the script. Oh, wow. Oh, I thought, I've got to have to do this, aren't I? Can't wait.
Nice.
It's great.
You're producing as well?
I'm not producing this one, no. I've got the next clapperboard. I've produced it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. Andy Morgan produced this one. So, yeah, I didn't do it, no. I just was a nice, lovely actress on this.
Is it quite nice not to be producing and actually you can just turn up and go, I'd have to worry about that or that?
Then again, when you see it, you go, you earned your money.
Sally, we've got to ask, have to say, and happy International Women's Day to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I mean, you've been incredible in the industry. Can you just tell us what was it like starting out in the industry? You know, as a woman.
Honest to God, you can't believe it, and Dermot will know this as well. You see it, and because I've been knocking around for 24 years, 25 years now, and you know, you used to go on set in some things, and they'd like pat you on the bum, and you know, and say, "Have you put a bit of weight on?" And
never,
always constant, and you know, and I think when I started off in the early days, it was sort of like the ladette time. So it was almost like a inverse feminism, like you weren't one of the lads if you didn't get your kit off or if you didn't do this. And it was just to drive me insane because I thought, could you sort of pressured into that kind of thing? I mean, I was a little bit older when I started, but I saw it happening and it's so different now. It's so different now. And we're not there by any stretch of the imagination. You know, for example, there's only 14% of women writers do primetime television in this country, which is ridiculous. That's different in every other country. It's only 14.
What do you put that? Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. I think people get very scared because it's so hard to get anything commissioned. I think they get very scared, so they go back to their type, which is naturally, well, normally male. It has been, you know, and then they've got, well, there's these are very famous women. So, I mean, when we wrote Madame Blanc, we are of a very, very, very small percentage. And I think it's ridiculous because there's so much amazing female talent out there, writing-wise, and women write brilliantly for women, you know.
And well done you, because you've got your own production company.
Yes.
And you like to run it in a very female way.
Very much so. Saffron Cherry is our production company, and I like to put women of a certain age on the television.
Yeah.
I like to put women of diversity on the television. And I also, because once you do that, you see, in a mainstream thing like Madame Blanc, it becomes normal.
Yeah.
So, because nobody says, oh, look, all these women of a certain age. Nobody says, look at all these men of a certain age on the television, do they? Ever?
No.
That never happens. Oh, isn't it brilliant? And once that question, once we stop talking about it and it becomes normal, then I'll be happy. Probably not in this generation, but...
Is that a struggle to do that? Or do you... Like you talked about how far the world's changed in 20 years.
It has.
Is that door far easier to open now to get a middle-aged woman on television?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the talent in this country, good Lord, yeah, definitely. And the thing is, people are finally realising that women want to watch women who look like themselves.
Yeah.
You know, so that's there's so much choice in television now.
Yeah.
So we're just making that content for me, really, for us, you know, for those women. And they usually control the remote, which is great.
Sal, I mean, it must be an honour to be in a position as a woman that can do that for other women.
Yeah.
I mean, how does it make you feel?
I feel very privileged, and I feel like... And it's a door you can't go through as well, back through, because I was convinced by my business partner, Caroline, to do this, you know, because I was like, well, I'm just an actor. And then when you start doing it, you think, well, I've done this for 20 years. I know exactly what I'm doing. Yeah. You know, I've read thousands of scripts. I've been on thousands of sets. You know, of course I know what I'm doing. And I think that's a problem sometimes with women, which thing we're going to talk about in a minute. Women don't feel they're not encouraged by people. Men are brought up to think of course I can do it, even though they can't, you know, whereas women are, well, I'm not quite sure. And that's got to change, I feel.
How do you change that? Like, what are the big steps, do you think?
Well, I've got... Can I talk about my...
Oh, you definitely can,
so,
yes.
Basically, I am president of a thing called the Women of the Year Awards, and it's essentially a room full of women that we meet every year. It's on the 11th of October at the Etihad, Man City. Yes, City. We've gone to Manchester. And basically what happens, I went there in 2018 to present an award. And it's a room full of CEOs, of female CEOs from the construction company, from retail. It's not about turns like me. It's not about actors and movie stars and stuff. It's just real women, real CEOs. Construction companies, retail, pharmaceutical, cars, proper CEOs that have gone against the grain and are, you know, and they want to encourage their girls from the ground up. So basically we have this award ceremony where there's 600 women in the room and they literally just support each other. We have inspirational speakers, we have 3 awards. We give charities to the Princess Trust Helping Women awards, and it's just so inspiring, and that's how I try and do it. I try and do it on screen, but also I'm very proud to be the president of this award because we need more of those things to happen. Yeah, mentorship. To say to women, you know, if he's talking rubbish, then tell him he's talking rubbish because you know just as much as anybody else. And I think we're conditioned as children to sort of keep quiet, look pretty, and those days should be gone now. And that's my... Sorry, I'm quite passionate about this.
I love it. Sal, do you know what, Sal? You're a complete icon.
Oh,
you
mate,
are.
It.
No, you're really inspirational.
Very kind.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's very kind. I love it here. Don't worry, I won't be here tomorrow.
Unless you've got a TV show, then you're more than welcome to come on and talk about it. Love Rat airs on Channel 5 at 9 o'clock from Monday to Thursday next week. Also available to stream on Wi-Fi. Thank you, Sally.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Sally.
guys.
Thank you. And Neil is here now to tell us why it all starts with a voice. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning.
I mean, you know, you couldn't have 2 different accents on today.
Yeah,
we've got Craig's Irish, we've got Mike Bristolian.
Yeah, no, it's great.
They're both real.
I know. You're not putting them on.
I mean, they're all thanking you at their award ceremonies. How did you get into the industry?
I trained as an actor. First of all, sorry, I'm just getting over the lurgy. I trained as an actor. I went to drama school, and then I went to the Central School and did the voice teaching course. And actually, whilst I was at drama school, my head of voice said to me, I think you're interested in voice. I think that's something you should think about. And when she said it to me, I thought, are you just trying to say that I won't have a career as an actor? Is that what you're steering me in another direction? And actually, after a few years of acting, I realised she was right. Actually, that was something that I wanted to do, you know. And so I trained as a voice teacher, worked in the theatre, worked at the Royal Shakespeare Company, and then went into the West End and did lots of lovely plays. I worked at the National.
So how did you make the transition from theatre, then, to film sets?
A friend of mine was working on a film, Mel Churcher, and she had to leave the film early. And she said to me, look, I know that you're interested in coming into film and you want to work in film and television. Do you want to come on board and finish off the film? And it was great because she talked me into it. She told me about the etiquette of a film set and how it all worked and where to go for lunch, very important, where to get your sides and so that was my first job. And then I got into doing other TV via that. I did Rome for HBO, that was a big job as well. So
the names are Helen Bonham Carter, Mark Ruffalo, Daniel Craig, Keira Knightley, Hugh Jackman, Saoirse Ronan, Judi Dench. Of course, we saw, what you did, this year as well. Incredible actors, and we presume they can just do these things off the cuff, but they all need help when they're trying these accents today.
Yeah. I mean, some come into it with more preparation than others, I think, and some have more of an aptitude for it than others. But they all work hard. They want to do a good job. They want to serve the accent and I think feel a sense of responsibility for it as well,
Particularly when you're telling big stories. I think of The King's Speech, because you worked with Colin Firth.
I did, yeah.
And you helped him with his stutter in that movie. I mean, that's a very different side of it. But he absolutely nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, well, for me, that was interesting because I'm not a speech therapist. That's not my background. So, again, I had help from a friend and colleague, Annie Morrison, who is a speech therapist. She came in, helped me. The British Stammering Association helped as well and gave a lot of advice. And unfortunately, we're very lucky. We still have a lot of those old Pathé newsreels that we could listen to and watch. And And it's not just the realisation in terms of speech with a stammer, it's also, there's a great deal of physicality that comes with it as well. So it was useful to watch Bertie and to see how that manifested itself in his body as well as his speech. And so that was great to work on.
We've got a little clip. I'd like to see it, actually, to remind us
Yeah,
of
OK,
that.
I would.
How does it feel watching that, knowing that you were responsible?
Yeah, amazing. I mean, I'm very proud of the film. And it was a great job to do. It was wonderful. And for me, as somebody that works with voice, in a way, it was a project that had at the very centre of it the idea of a voice and a person who didn't have a voice. You know, I mean, physically, emotionally, psychologically, Bertie couldn't find his voice. And through that work that he did with Logue, you know, he found a voice at a time when the nation needed it during the war and needed to hear from him.
How do you start? When someone comes into you and they go, I need to be Australian, Irish, Bristolian, whatever, where do you start?
I think for me, it always feels like I'm starting from the very beginning, even if it's an accent that I know very well, even if it's an actor with whom I've worked a lot, because the challenges are always different. You know, the characters are different, the script is different. And so for me, I always have like a framework, you know, a blueprint of sounds. And then within that blueprint of sounds, there's lots of possibilities. You know, there are lots of choices, lots of subtlety.
Your geography must be amazing.
My geography?
Yeah.
No, it's terrible.
Oh.
No, it's not good at all. But, yeah, and then it's that area, it's that sort of territory that I find most interesting, you know, that creative side about, you know, as I'm sure you know, in Bristol, there are lots of different subtleties. There are lots of different... In Dublin, there are enormous.
Yeah.
And no accent sounds exactly the same. You know, if we think about people that we grew up with, I think about people that I was at school with. I grew up in Norfolk. And so, you know, my accent is a bit like that boy. You know, I know, not exactly. I know, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, so, you know, my grandfather used to say, all right, boy, how are you getting on, boy? Nice to see you, boy. And everything was beautiful. And when the coffee shops was first popular, you know, I remember hearing people say, I think I'll have a cappuccino. You know.
I still say it like that.
Roy's rocks him a boot.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And so, yes, if I think about the people that I went to school with, you know, we didn't all sound the same, even though we had the same, you know, similar upbringing, went to the same schools. You know, we all had different... There are always different subtleties, different pronunciations, different flavour, and that's what interests me in accents.
Is it possible now? Everyone watching at home would love to try something. Is there something quickly you can teach us and the folks at home, an accent we can try to get us through the rest of the morning?
Well, we were listening to the word water, and you were thinking about water. Yeah, water. And water, exactly. So if we think about what I'm doing when I say that word, you know, what's happening is that if you watch my lips really round and find that or vowel.
I hope you're doing this at home.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So if you think about finding the rounding, the movement of the lips, war, and they're doing it behind the camera, I can see. Really finding the lips to really shape that sound. It pulls that or vowel into shape.
Water.
War. And then we're really finding a strong T, the water.
Water.
And unlike your accents, I don't have the R at the end of that vowel. So, yeah, so I just come off of it, water.
Oh, Neil, I'm actually
that was very quick, wasn't it? That was like accent 101 in 1 minute.
I'm actually speaking proper.
So if we base our whole accent for the rest of the show on water...
You'll be fine.
I think I'm going to...
Very good.
I think lots of people
I'm going to stay with that, Neil. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're very
it's really good.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure.
Thanks, mate. Right now... Those pampered housemates have it easy compared to the I'm a Celeb campmates. In the jungle, Josie, camp can turn into an old pressure cooker. A bit of tiredness, the odd failed bean fritter. Things can happen, Jose, because last series, Fred and Josie, there were more sparks between these two than the actual fire itself. Have a look at this.
Hopefully this works.
She's got no eggs, she's got no flour, nothing but beans and oil.
The moment of truth, bean fritters.
But I have stopped advising, I have stopped saying anything. I'm just, you know, going with the flow. Go on, Josie. Have fun.
I don't think I can turn them. Don't think it's going to work. No, it's not working. It's not sticking.
The fritters were a bad idea. Mission abort, mission abort.
But you know what you can do? You can use the oil that you have there, put it in the beans, not all of it.
No, I'm going to fry the whole lot of it. It'll still be like fried beans, but it's just not sticking together.
Very quickly, obviously, she said, I'm aborting the mission. Yeah.
Oh, well, the I'm a Celeb campmate was long away, and there's no bean fritters in sight today.
We should point out you haven't watched. That's the first time you've seen any of this.
First time I've seen any of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but instead, Fred's here to share a family favourite. You've got roast chicken soup and sweet corn on the menu, haven't you, Fred?
Yes.
Why didn't you do bean fritters?
Well, funnily enough, I've been asked, but you know, it's not my favourite recipe. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a recipe which my dad called is the art of accommodating the leftovers, the art of making your leftovers, you know, nice. So, you know, imagine, for example, you're on a Sunday night, right? You're having a roast chicken, and on Monday, you've got nothing to cook, and you're thinking, what am I going to do? So this is a recipe that you're going to use with stuff that you've got in the cupboard, like, for example, tin sweet corn, or if you want to take a bit more time, you can have fresh sweet corn. So, first of all, simple, you get your chicken and you make a stock out of the...
Can I just ask, you guys okay?
We
All
love
good?
each other.
Yeah,
Do you know
okay.
what? It's
Of
been
course,
really
Craig.
blown
Just
out.
to get that sorted.
It's been really blown out of proportion, hasn't it, Fred?
It has.
Bring it in. Come on.
Oh,
you love it.
How many husbands we had this morning, though?
Oh,
It's
loads, yeah.
Number 7 or 8.
Yeah, because we've been through something a bit spectacular together, haven't we? It was a journey, wasn't it?
I think that people can't understand what it means to be in the jungle unless you are in the jungle.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here is because you really want to get out of here.
Didn't I ever? Oh, I wish we had this in the jungle. That would have been lovely.
So, look, you've got a roast chicken, you know, it's very, I mean, most people would make, I mean, this is the way to make a stock, is to actually get some raw chicken and make the stock with it. But, you know, in terms of using your leftovers and making the most of your leftovers, there's a lot of flavour here. So what you have to do is just get the meat off the bone like that, put it inside your pan with a bit of water, and then what you do, simply add a bit of onions like this, a bit of thyme, a bit of bay leaves, garlic, just like that. Your carrots.
Fred, you know when you've got a leftover carcass on a Sunday, could you put that in this, or does it have to be raw?
Yeah, this is, no, you actually put the leftover carcass.
OK, all right, OK.
This is about using the leftovers and making the most of your leftovers.
OK, yeah. Right.
You know, it's what we used to do in the jungle, you know, to save on everything, right?
Yeah, we made something go about 4 meals along, didn't we?
Exactly that.
Yeah.
So then what you do, basically, you just bring that to the boil and cook it for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
And you got your stock that's ready. So I'm going to put it here.
Fred, can you remember when you dropped your stock? We won these OXO cubes, and Fred accidentally dropped them in the fire. Can you remember that?
I know. You know what? I was so embarrassed that I did that. I didn't want to say nothing. And then I thought to myself, no, I've got to come clean. I've got to say, I've got to admit to my crime.
Yeah.
And I desperately tried to get the cube out of the fire, and I couldn't because they were totally carbonized.
Can you imagine? Like, you know, an OXO cube is everything in there, isn't it? And I seen you do it, and I thought,
And Tony was so upset. He was so upset. He was so upset. But the day he walked in on the food and we actually ate the food that was under his foot, that was all right.
Yeah,
it was so funny.
He stepped in the food.
I tell you something, you might be eating raw food in a minute if you don't crack on there,
Oh, sorry.
Fred. Yeah,
Okay, so basically you are making your stock, and what you do after that, while you're cooking the stock and the stock is cooked, you add your sweet corn in the stock like that, cook them for 10, 15 minutes.
Right in, yeah.
If you don't have the time, what you can do is have a stock cube like that, in a bit of water, just water and the stock cube. You get some sweet corn in a tin, you drain it, and you put it in there. And once it's finished to cook for about 10 minutes, very simply, you blitz it.
Oh.
You blitz it, and here is one that I prepared earlier.
And the corn thickens everything up lovely, doesn't it?
Oh, lovely.
Lovely sweet corn soup. Now, if you do not have a carcass, maybe, and you just want to make it to elevate a little bit that recipe, you can get some chicken thighs like that, roast them with a bit of garlic and butter, and then you just chop it up. And then the next phase, very, very simple. Here, if I can find my plate. Right, I'm going to plate it.
Cool, it's nice to have a nice meal together, isn't it, Fred?
This is very simple. And you know, when I was thinking about what recipe to cook, I was thinking about you, Josie, because this is a kind of recipe. This is fast food, essentially, right? But this is not, you know, fried chicken or a burger. This is fast food because it takes 10 minutes to do. You come back from work, you want to do a proper meal, you want to cook for your family, and you can either do it two ways. Like I said to you, you make your own stock.
Oh, that is good.
Or
that is
you
really good.
basically, simply make a stock with stock cube.
Thanks, Fred. And Fred, both your parents were nurses, so
that's right.
They worked shift work, so you had to kind of learn to cook a bit yourself, but there was always someone at home to help you out, right?
Yes, I mean, I was always in the kitchen watching my parents cook, and my parents can cook the whole of the French repertoire. You know, they are incredible chefs. They used to cook a 3-course meal every single day.
Oh, brilliant.
So, if you like, this was my upbringing with food. Sorry, let me just...
The chicken popped in there just really makes it look like a fancy old meal, doesn't it?
Oh, lovely.
A little bit of creme fraiche.
Yeah.
And I call this a recipe in 3, because really there's 3 ingredients, right? It's a little bit of sweet corn, a little bit of chicken and coriander, and it's just so simple and so easy to make.
Fred, you said you were working with Emma Willis on a project at Netflix. What's happening there?
That's right. It's not on Netflix, it's on Amazon. It's
on
called
Amazon.
The World Cook.
OK.
It's a cooking competition. It's an incredible competition, and we go around the world to find the best chef in the world. So 16 chefs. It's like the Olympics of cooking.
And you and Emma Willis?
Me and Emma Willis.
Nice.
Fred, nailed it. Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, great.
There you are.
Good mum.
Wow.
Can't have a meal without a bit of red wine,
I'm
can
so
we?
pleased the world.
Beaucoup.
I'm so pleased the world gets to see that you two are really close pals. You've been actually genuinely behind the scenes, chatting, laughing, hugging. It's good to see. It's good to everyone see that, you know, because Jungle's a pressurised place.
Cheers.
Good to have you back in a happy
is.
place.
Cheers.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci
beaucoup. Salut.
Oh,
There you
lovely.
go. Nice.
Cheers.
Oh, gorgeous. That is a good wine, Fred. Good
Good
soup,
draw, Fred.
good wine.
Well done.
Good company. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, for details of Fred's recipe, check out our free This Morning app. Is in action, and Tucker joins us now. Thank you for coming onto the sofa.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Good
do you
to
know
see
what?
you.
I've been watching the Dragon's Den. I think it's the best yet. I think the pitches are incredible. All your dragons, amazing. And this is your 9th series.
9th series, yes.
Can you remember when you first got the call to do it?
Yeah, I do remember. Through a PR company I was dealing with, and they said to me, they're looking for 3 new dragons. Would you like to go for an audition? I said, I'm never going to get... Yes, I said, why not? So I went for the audition, and it's fine. First time on TV, I'm not... And then I went away, heard nothing for a month, and then I got a call saying, would I go up to Manchester for lunch? I'm in London. Lunch? OK. So I arrived in Manchester. Steve Hadley, who was the producer there, looked at me and said, I want you. I want you on my show. You're going to be a dragon. And that was the beginning.
I like the way you had to pitch for it. There's a certain irony that you had to,
you were
face a
scouted,
TV
really.
dragon to get a TV job.
Do you know, at the time, I felt there must be auditioning 100 people. I'm just one of 100. So I didn't assume that I'd be offered the position of a dragon.
Do you know why I like you on it? Because obviously your success has mean you know what you're talking about, but, you know, you've had failings in the early years. You know what that's like to recover from failure and the learnings from failure. Talk to us about that.
Well, my business experience goes back 50 years. So I outdo all the other dragons as far as experience, of course. However, I started off in my 20s from being a garment manufacturer, and eventually, in my late 20s, by default, I became chairman of 2 public companies, unique in its day. The second company that I bought into, I did no due diligence. And net assets showed 22 million. We did a review after I invested. There were 12 million in the red. Lost everything. But best experience of my life.
Why?
Because I was young, I wasn't married, I was single, got myself up and said, I'm not giving up. I'm going to carry on. Started all over again.
So those fails have been like a learning curve
Sure.
for you, really? Yeah. Every single fail is a learn.
Look, there's no entrepreneur who hasn't failed.
OK.
And there's no entrepreneur who's a multi-skill entrepreneur who hasn't got a business that's in intensive care. You know, I've got one very close to here already. So thing about failure is part of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Going back to the Dragons then, like I said, you know, I think is the best series yet. I think it's brilliant. But what do you think people can expect from this series yourself?
Well, look, the BBC, your competitor, they've done an amazing job bringing in the different types of businesses that weren't there 9 years ago.
Yeah.
You've got a very varied amount of businesses. And, of course, we've now introduced guest dragons. We've had Emma and Gary on board, which has had a little bit of spice. We've had a new background. And I think we've got a good mix of dragons.
So this is Emma. This is Kim and Khloe Kardashian's business partner.
Yes.
And Gary Neville.
Yes.
Yeah. So she brought Good American and Skims to the Kardashians.
Correct.
And she comes from quite humble beginnings, which is nice, you know, to see as
from
a
London.
female.
Yeah.
She's
a lovely lady.
And she's built a multi-billion-pound business up like that.
Has she really?
Yeah,
Wow.
she's admirable.
What does Gary bring to it? Tight defence?
Do you know, I got to know Gary quite well. He's a very, very humble, nice guy. And he came across as wanting to do good for Manchester, because where he's from. And Gary actually is, I'm surprised he's got so many balls in the air. He's a real entrepreneur, although he's a football pundit, but Gary's great.
Yeah, very successful media company
Yes.
Gary has, yeah.
What's been your most rewarding investment so far?
Well, rewarding as far as paper's concerned. I think the best pitch that I've ever had, which has been the most rewarding, was Jenna 8. This is where you give Jenna 8 permission to use your cookie and your data, and they sell that, and you get rewards back. So Peter and I invested 30,000 each, for 5% each, which spared the company at 600,000. They just raised new finance at 30 million valuation.
Oh, nice.
So it's only on paper.
Yeah.
The thing about dragons, you do it because of passion. You do it because you want to give back. Yeah, you do it because you want to return on your investment. But
is there any you're still kicking yourself about?
No, I don't kick about anything. Do you know why? If I did that, I'd be kicking about... For me, it's very much, how do I help entrepreneurs grow their businesses? You know? And whether it's in the den or outside the den, it's my passion to help people.
How often is it about the pitch or just you taking Stephen Bartlett down? Or Peter Jones down? I mean, the internal competition must be heavy.
No, look, we have a little expression. What happens in the den stays in the den, and what happens outside the den, we're all friends. As far as the den is concerned, if anybody says to me, he doesn't know anything, that's when I get upset. Because then I just say, I've got 50 years' experience and you've got 3. You tell me who's got more experience.
Do you hang out together outside?
Yes, of course.
Oh, you're all friends?
We're all friends. We go out for dinner every night. We have a chit-chat and we all keep in touch.
OK, well, send some tip-offs our way, will you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we fancy a slice of the pie. You know what I mean?
Well, you never know. Never know.
Yeah.
Never know.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
so
on,
much.
Suker. Dragon's Den continues every Thursday night at 8 p.m. on BBC, and it is a fantastic series.
Thank you.
So well done,
I'll pass
you guys.
it on to the other dragons.
Yeah, please
Thank you very much.
Please do. So you can do it that way. Now, she's one of the most popular stars of Strictly Come Dancing. But just a few years ago, Diane Boswell was in the grip of an eating disorder so severe it actually threatened to destroy her dance career and also left her dangerously close to a heart attack.
With over 1 million people in the UK currently suffering from an eating disorder, Diane has joined forces with specialist Dr Chucks to tackle many misconceptions surrounding disorders with eating. Now, the pair join us now. Thank you for coming on. Now, Dr Chucks, you've put this book together, Eating Disorders Don't Discriminate, and there's lots of stories in there. And, Diane, you've decided to share your story in that book. And I can imagine this, you know, helping so many people right now because... You've just been telling us you're extremely busy. But, Diane, can we just start with you? When did it become apparent that you had an eating disorder?
I think when it starts to consume your life.
Right.
So you wake up of a morning and the first thing you think of is, what am I going to eat? How many calories are going to be in that? How much do I need to exercise to burn off those calories? It literally is like a planned thing in your mind that doesn't go away. And that's when you start to go, oh, this is a problem, because I'm not thinking of anything else other than that.
Was yours driven, though, by the career choice of dancing? And obviously size was important and they were weighing you at a young age. I mean, it was deep in your subconscious, wasn't it?
I do believe it comes from when I was quite a young girl. And obviously growing up in the dance world, you're thought to look a certain way, and you see all these other, you know, beautiful girls dancing, and you kind of go, oh, I want to look like that, and I want to be winning like they are, and they look a certain way, so I feel like I should look that way. So I think, yeah, it was something from a really young age. And I also went on to, you know, dance in dance companies, and one of those things was like a weekly weigh-in, and I can't tell you how terrifying that was and how much that played on my mind for the whole week, really, when you knew that a weigh-in was coming up. So, yeah, it was quite intense.
How bad did it get for you?
It got to a point where I didn't want to dance anymore. I was afraid to go on stage. I felt physically ill, the thought that my body, I don't even know if I can get through an hour show. And I was known as, like, the Energizer Bunny. I think that's what I was casted as. You know, she has so much energy, she's always full of life, and that really went away from me. And I had nothing to give on the dance floor, and that really terrified me, and I just couldn't do it anymore.
Well, you need, you know, you're a dancer, you need a lot of energy to be a dancer. How did you get through it, Diane? Because, you know, you're giving all these performances every single day, and you've just got nothing in you.
Yeah, exactly. I have quite a strong mind, so I just kept telling myself, you can do it. You just keep going, Diane, keep going. But it was a certain breaking point where my body physically couldn't do it anymore, and that's when I knew I had to go and get help and talk to people.
Dr. Chucks, let's just kind of familiarise ourselves with the language and everything here. There's so much of it going on, but
Absolutely.
The difference between anorexia and bulimia, what are the prime differences between the two?
So anorexia nervosa is a restrictive eating disorder, just like bulimia nervosa. The only difference is, or one of the key differences, there's a weight threshold for anorexia nervosa, and whereas bulimia nervosa, that's not the case. Often people with anorexia nervosa, like I said, they're kind of smaller bodied, or they are lower on a threshold, if that makes sense. Whereas bulimia nervosa, again, very secretive illness. Actually, probably one of the most secretive, because often it's hard to detect. And statistics on this are kind of inconsistent, because we don't actually know how many are suffering from it. So the key differences are the weight threshold, because you can still have, for example, you can still have purging, which is you can experience that in anorexia and bulimia nervosa. So that's not the key difference.
Purging is when so you eat a lot and then you vomit.
Not necessarily vomit. That's a common misconception. Okay. It's anything to counteract an input of nutrition. So it could be, for example, I don't know, you know, exercise or whatever it happens to be. Yeah, so those are the key differences.
And that's, I suppose, why you've covered so many stories in your book, because
Absolutely.
so many stories are so different, aren't they, Dr. Chooks?
Absolutely. So the book is basically Eating Disorders Don't Discriminate, a real labour of love. By the way, can I just say thank you for talking about eating disorders outside of Eating Disorders Awareness Week, which finished on Sunday, because often there's radio silence for a whole year until eating disorders. It's such a serious issue, and in the book we cover 5 key eating disorders, OSFED, which not many people know about, although it's the most common eating disorder category.
What's it called again?
OSFED, so other specified feeding and eating disorders. Then second most common, binge eating disorder. Third most common, bulimia nervosa, which Diane's piece is really powerful. Then fourth most common, which gets a lot of airtime, understandably so, because it claims the lives, unfortunately, of more mental health illnesses than any others, anorexia nervosa. And then the fifth one, ARFID, avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, which was coincidentally the theme of this year's Eating Disorders Awareness Week.
I tell you, these darn phones have a lot to answer for, because there's calorie counters on them, there's step counters, then there's all the social media where you're looking at photographs, you're comparing and contrasting. For young people, and not just girls, young boys as well, around that 16 years old age group, I'm hearing a lot of stories of a lot of eating disorders, particularly in that area. It seems like the phone's got a lot to do with that, but is that the big danger area question to both of you?
I think we are, you know, obviously looking at things and seeing, oh, I could look like that or I could do that, and it is so accessible for us nowadays. which I definitely think could have an impact for sure.
I think more. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think there's this thing that social media causes eating disorders. It doesn't by itself. It normally sits on top of other things. And for example, genetics, which we don't often talk about, but genetics is very strongly, and the book does highlight the importance of genetics in the development of eating disorders, but also the social determinants of health. Now we're seeing a lot of poverty-induced disordered eating. So people, you know, maybe cutting here, cutting there, and that can lead to an expression of more serious issues such as eating disorders.
I think it's going to be quite popular today. Is that, you know, you're telling me about stories that you've heard. You know, Mr. Chooks, if anybody's watching today, what should they be looking out for if they think that their child or somebody close to them has an eating disorder, and where can they go for that sort of help?
So, to be honest, it depends on the eating disorder and it depends on the person. Those are it can express differently. But I think the key 3 ways, I guess, to break it down, to make it more simple, is behavioural signs, physical signs, and then psychological signs. So let's start with psychological. It's things like anxiety around meals or preoccupation with foods that they may not have had before. Then there's physical signs, for example, fatigue, or, for example, coincidentally on blood tests, if it's men, they might have lower testosterone, or, you know, other things such as... and then you have behavioural signs, such as maybe preoccupation with weighing yourself, or, you know, obsession with calories, as you've mentioned, Craig. But just to be honest, there's so many different signs and symptoms.
And where can they go for help? I mean, we're going to put some on our website, but where would you suggest people
I really
go for help?
appreciate that. For help, I would suggest Beat Charity is a good place to start.
OK.
Also, contacting your general practitioner, your GP.
OK.
That's really, really important, because an eating disorder loves nothing more than to suffer in silence. I mean, you know, to then put the person through suffering in silence and to isolate people. So it's really important to keep the lines of communication open. If there's one random aunt that you trust and talk to, go to that aunt and open up to her or them, because that is important.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Chooks. And thank you for sharing your story, Diane. You know, it's very powerful.
Before we go, Diane, as well, I mean, the numbers suggest that it's just getting worse and worse. There's a lot of parents watching now, looking at the kids, not knowing what to do, not knowing if it's going to end. Look, you've got through it.
I did.
Look at you now. You know, your career's going great. What message would you give to all those worried parents at home at the moment?
I think, for me, it was a big realisation of, like, your body is your tool and we can't do anything without it, and it makes us feel happy. And when we're just feeling terrible and not doing the right things to our body, amazing things don't happen. When I started to really appreciate my body for what it is, I ended up getting Strictly. All these magical things happened because I was just enjoying my body for what it is and not trying to be something that it's not.
Great advice. Great advice. Thanks, Diane.
I know I mentioned kids. It's just that's the spike in numbers of younger people. Obviously, it affects adults as well.
Well, it's everyone,
totally. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, if you or a loved one are struggling with an eating disorder and you'd like more information, please head to our Free This Morning app, and there'll be lots of information there that you may need. I mean, what was it like working alongside Millie Bobby Brown? Because we know her from Stranger Things, and she's taken on all these it's been lovely to see her grow as an actress, hasn't it? What was it like working alongside her?
It's fascinating to watch somebody from that generation, the confidence and strength that these young girls have, and young boys. I was just, like, very impressed with her acting skills, and look at what she's accomplished.
Yeah.
She's, what, 20 years old? She's a powerhouse.
Well, you know, the role couldn't have been suited to two powerful women. Millie and yourself, you've taken on some incredible roles over the years.
Absolutely. I was just wondering, because, of course, you were in Princess Bride at 21, so there was a lot of similarities between the two of you. Were you helping her through it, or is she pretty self-sufficient?
I think she's got it in the can. Yeah.
And I was thinking back to Princess Bride. You had an English accent then, did you?
I did, yes.
Can you still do the English accent now?
You know, my stepfather, who I grew up with, is British. So he made sure I had this accent down before I went to make that movie.
OK. And I was wondering, have you heard Josie's accent?
Where are you from? I was going to ask you.
Do you know what? Every American person that I meet always thinks I'm a pirate. Do I sound like a pirate to you?
Well, you sound Irish.
Do I sound Irish? I've always wanted to be Irish.
Where are you?
I'm from Bristol. So we're like the southwest of the country.
Okay.
Yeah. Does my accent sound funny to you?
Well, it's definitely not American.
That is
It's different.
correct.
It's different. Can you do a Bristolian accent?
Oh, I want this accent.
Do you?
It's the best.
Right. So all I'd say is go, I like your socks.
I like your socks.
Oh, there you
Not
go.
bad,
You
yeah.
got it.
I
You
like
got
your
it.
socks.
What are you, though?
I like your socks. Well, I'm a mix. I was born in Manchester, but I've been in London since I was 18, so I'm sort of a mix of the two. So I still have, in terms of accent, the key for me is I say Bath and grass, not Bath and grass.
Oh.
And that's sort of, I'm from the north because I'm Bath and grass.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah. I'm terrible at accents. I can only do Bristolian. But, Robin, I mean, with your career, you started off in The Princess Bride. You played Princess Buttercup, 1987. And then you had a massive blockbuster with Forrest Gump. You played Jenny. So because you've had that early start in your career, you've had two major successes. How did that go on, then, to be choosing, roles? Were you very selective after that? Because you've had two major blockbuster movies.
Well, that's sheer luck.
No.
And I feel very blessed.
Talent.
Well, you don't know what the films are going to be when you're shooting them. You have no idea what the response is going to be like, or its success or non-success. And you do feel blessed to have been a participant in two very iconic films. And they're both great.
Forrest
Gump,
I mean, it's a peculiar film in a nice way. And I suspect when you were working on it, it must have felt quite random whether this was going to just flop on its backside or going to be a big hit. Or did you all think it was going to work at the time?
We had no idea. What you felt shooting it, and I do also feel that that's what you feel when you look at this film, even today, is that it's sentimental without being cheesy.
Yeah.
We can't have you here, Robin, without talking about House of Cards. I mean, it was just the most amazing political thriller. It's a proper binge-worthy series. After, being on a political thriller like that, would you ever go into politics?
Never. No way.
But you were so good at playing that role.
Oh, people would say, who did you get advice from? I didn't get advice from anybody. All you have to do is watch the news, right?
Yeah. Did you base your character on anyone?
No, it was interesting. David Fincher, who created the look of the show, the tone, everything, he just said, I don't think you need to emulate anybody in particular. What I believe Claire Underwood is what he said, is that she's a bust. Like when you walk into the Capitol and you see all these marble busts of commanding figures. He said, you are the bust. Meaning, to me as an actor, I don't need to move very much. So she was very stoic and stayed, and that's why the costumes were the way they were.
I mean,
it helped me so much.
Lady Macbeth almost, wasn't it?
Literally,
But also,
yeah.
I mean, it was almost an icon of clothing because the clothing went in with that sort of...
Exactly.
The statue, that solidity. I mean, did you choose the clothes yourselves or is that all done for you?
Well, we had incredible costume designers. And then eventually it became too overwhelming for them to design for every character in the show. And then Claire Underwood had her own, and it was Kamala Harris. She was unbelievable. So every season, Claire Underwood had a theme. So either we would put gold buttons here that kind of looked like epaulettes, weren't quite sure because she was in her general phase, things like that.
And you got to direct some of House of Cards as well.
I did. I got to direct, I think, 10 episodes.
Nice.
And it was like going to free cinema school.
Have you got a taste for it now?
I love it. I've got the bug.
Have you?
Yeah.
And what can we expect next from you?
I'm currently doing an Amazon show in England. So it's a British cast, except I'm American in it. And I'm acting and directing and producing.
Are you? I heard that you're meeting up with all the old Forrest Gump guys.
Yeah, we just worked again together.
What are you doing?
Tom and I did, it's a movie called Here. And I think it'll come out this year in the fall.
So you and Tom Hanks
Tom and the whole band got back together. Robert Zemeckis directed it. Eric Roth, who wrote Forrest Gump, wrote it. Yeah, it was incredible. 30 years later, reuniting. It was like no time had passed.
I was about to ask, it was like those, when you see your friends you haven't seen for years, and with 2 minutes in, you've forgotten that you haven't seen each other.
Yeah, there was nothing. There was nothing awkward about it.
Well, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah, it was
Can we
great.
ask what it's about? Are we allowed to ask?
I'm going to just give you one little... It's never been done before. The way it's shot. So that's its original content. But it's called Here because everything happens over all periods of time in life. Here. That's all.
Is it sci-fi then?
No.
Oh, right. Oh, God, you're so good at keeping secrets.
It's
Single
different.
location
It's very
over
different.
over lots of... We'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Oh, I cannot wait for that. Thank you, Robin. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. Well, Noel's here to tell us more about this new suit. Hello! Good to see you. I've missed you.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Hang on a minute.
Hang on a minute. I've been in the bake-off tent, Hammond.
We know, we
You
know.
can't just call me
How
off
are you?
yourself.
I've really missed you.
I can't take this seriously.
I know. This is we're all on the telly now.
I know.
This is crazy.
What happened? That's an
I'm in
admin
this
error.
morning mode now.
Oh, it's different for you. You've got to
Yeah,
take
a
it
little
seriously.
bit. I have different hats.
Nice cushions. Can I take
Thank
that
you
one
so
with
much.
me?
Yeah, go for it. It's yours.
Okay, yeah.
No, this series. Now, you know, it's like you work in telly and you'll see someone doing something. And you think, good on them. But this is, I can honestly say, the first time in my entire career I've seen someone do a show, I'm like, I'm actually jealous of you doing this because this has got it all.
Oh.
You can dress up, period, comedy, great cast. I mean, how long did it take you from writing it to actually getting it on?
5 years.
Wow.
I know. We did a pilot, but then there was the pandemic and all of that stuff, and then there was a few things that put it right back. But Apple has stuck with us, really. They've been amazing.
Yeah.
And, look at that. The cast's crazy.
Yeah.
There's so many good people in it. You two should be in it. You look great in thigh-high boots.
Well, what I was actually doing there was a slow angle into that. I thought,
for the next series?
Really flatter you, and then go, are you doing a series too? I can be a beggar at the side of the road, just lobbing all veg at me.
Just text me up, and I've got loads of thigh-high boots at my house, so if not, just come round and we'll get dressed up.
I am all over it.
So how did you decide to play him? Because essentially he's a murderer, isn't he?
Yeah, he was. I think I've played him in a different way. My character of Dick is vegan. He's a pacifist. His dad was a butcher in real life, and so Mark Heap plays my dad, who's amazing, and my brother plays my cousin Benny. Which is quite weird. And then, so he didn't want to work. He didn't want to be a butcher. So we've made out my character a vegan, and he's a pacifist. He's not very good at riding a horse. He can't fight. He can't do anything really. He's just got ideas.
This is Dick Turpin we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is Dick Turpin. Now, for me, doing this series for yourself, starting off Mighty Boosh comedy, but doing the Bake Off, do you kind of find people now, do you have to remind them you're actually I'm a comedian, I'm from that world?
Yeah, a little bit. I think there's a whole generation of kids that have just seen me in the tent and think that's my house and that I live with Paul Hollywood. I do, actually.
That's the dream.
Do you live with Paul Hollywood?
Yeah, we've got bunk beds. He's top bunk, obviously, but, you know...
But he's really excited about this, isn't he?
He keeps ringing me up and going, I'm so excited. Do you know what? He'd be good in Dick Turpin.
Oh, he'd be amazing.
With his blue eyes.
Yeah. What about Hugh? What's it like to work with him?
Well, Hugh Bonneville was amazing because he was a little bit like Julian Barrett, actually. Similar sort of clown status and quite high status and, you know, pompous. He's good at playing a sort of pompous character. And we were handcuffed together for a whole episode.
How did you find that?
It was slightly erotic.
Yeah. Well, that gives you more free rein, doesn't it, to perform? If he's doing that kind of character, you could be a bit more silly.
Yeah, like childlike. And so we were handcuffed together. We had to actually do a big stunt together, handcuffed together.
Right. Did you do your own stunts or did you have a double?
I did my own stunt, just one.
Yeah.
Do you know how they got us to do it? They just didn't tell us until we got there. We had to jump off like a 60-foot high bridge on wires, and they didn't tell us. They just said, we're just going to get a shot of you up there. And then when we were up there, they went, we're just going to get a shot of you jumping off.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you kidding me? My knees were knocking like in a cartoon, you know, like in a Disney
It's amazing
cartoon.
with telly how they do that. And they go, just jump off there. You're like, and you feel like if you say no, and everyone's like, he's let us down.
I looked down and there was quite a lot of stuntmen down there, like a gaggle of stuntmen.
Going like this.
And I thought, that's too many stuntmen for this. This is going to go wrong.
Not only that, you know, when you're younger, you don't mind doing stuff like that. But when you're in your 50s and you've got 2 kids.
I know.
Luckily, none of us are in our 50s.
Obviously, yeah, none of us are in our 50s.
When you're 37 in the prime of your life. And so basically, this coat's so thick, I laid it out on the floor so that if the wire snaps, I'd just bounce back up. But you know what's weird is I was thinking, well, if this goes wrong, obviously Hugh will get the front page in the paper and I'll just be a little name in italic.
Yeah, a little footnote.
Don't want to die.
And him from the tent.
It'd be like Hugh Bonneville's gone. And Paddington.
You'd be doing the bake-off.
Seamless.
I did love the bake-off, actually.
You were great on it.
Honestly, I absolutely loved it. Because it is a bit of a nerve-wracking thing.
Did you get nervous?
I was nervous but you've been on it as well.
Did you do it before you hosted it?
Yeah.
So every time I tell him that I was on Celebrity Stand Up to Cancer Bake Off, he's like, really?
What did you do?
I did chocolate brownies. You know what I did?
I have no memory
of that. Was that your showstopper?
No, that was the first one. My showstopper was terrible. It was a biscuit. They wanted us to recreate what we wanted to do when we grew up, and I wanted to be a police officer.
Right.
So I did like a police station. It just looked terrible.
Yeah.
Looked like a.
Did you feel like you were auditioning for the show at that point?
No, I didn't. I couldn't even find the oven door. I was like, where is it? It's weird.
We moved that around so people can't find it. It's like a cat flap.
Who's on this series?
Wow, we had some good people.
We had some great people. Mel B.
Oh, yeah.
Who was your favourite?
Oh, Mel B was good, wasn't she? She was quite scary, actually.
Yeah, she drank a lot of rum.
Oh, that doesn't make her a bad person.
No, it doesn't.
Make her a bad person.
But when you drink 2 bottles...
Yeah.
Legendary.
Danny Dyer on the front. Oh, no, Dan.
Danny Dyer was absolutely hilarious. Everything that came out of his mouth.
So funny.
I was crying.
I don't know what it is. It's the accent, isn't it? He can say something really, like, mundane and boring, and you just start laughing.
Yeah,
it's a bit like you.
I'm going to say, if you've got an accent, you can get away with
And he had a tash. He had a bit of a tash, didn't he, that he kept...
Yeah.
He said, it's for a role, he kept saying. It's not my usual tash.
Yeah.
He's going, what do you reckon? Bit porny, isn't it?
Well, well, what's hilarious, when I was working with him, he had the tash and he went, I'm doing a Disney film. I'm like, oh, things have took a turn for the worse here. What kind of Disney film's this going to be? Get in there, Mickey Mouse. It's like, but I'm looking forward to it because I love him. I'm looking forward to it.
Him and Donald Duck, I can't wait.
How do you think television has changed from when you started out?
Wow. I mean, we did the Mighty Boosh and it was quite a low budget, you know, it's BBC Three. So if we wanted a stagecoach in the Mighty Boosh, we'd have to make it out of balsa wood and then animate it.
Did you make
it would be cardboard, yeah.
I think the great thing about making any kind of telly these days is there's not much criticism.
No.
Because no one really speaks about it. You never hear anyone's opinions. You can just do your show, put it on the telly. No one ever speaks about it. Do you feel that sort of weight?
Yeah.
You know, because it's a big comedy series. You've seen the trailer. Are you ready for people going, is that him out the bake-off? I didn't know he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've had my fair share of ups and downs.
Yeah.
The Boosh, we were quite lucky. It was the first thing we did and people liked it. But we were underdogs then, you know? People didn't really know who we were.
Yeah.
And then once you're in the bake-off, you're a
You're big time now, ain't you, Noel?
Well, you know.
You are.
Luckily, we got Prue and Paul to protect it.
Yeah, we have. Oh, well, we're very excited. The completely made-up adventures of Dick Turpin premieres globally. Globally, can you believe that?
Globally.
Today,
Big
exclusively on Apple TV+.
Love it.
So make sure you tune in. He's really good. I actually saw it.
Have you seen it?
I secretly saw his driver
Did
let
you?
me watch an episode, and he's brilliant.
You've just got his driver sacked live on telly.
Carlos.
Carlos, he ain't going nowhere, our Carlos. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Bob and Josh are here now to tell us all about it. How are you, lads?
Good, yeah.
Good, yeah.
Good to see you.
It's our first time on here, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you not done this morning?
Never done this morning.
You've never done this morning?
Never.
Oh, you are big time now.
I've hardly made it. Honestly, never been on there.
Are you joking? Well, it's because you got your name on the show. Rob Beckett, Smart TV. Do you think that's what it is?
Well, yeah, maybe now. But you guys are on the show as well.
Yeah, we are on the show as well.
Josh is a bit upset, though, about...
I'm not a bit upset at all.
Tell us the situation. What's going on?
There's no situation. It was just... There was a slight mess-up at Sky.
What did they do?
They put a picture up of just you and Rob without me on the Sky Planner.
Oh, well...
Oh, let's have a look.
Oh, see it. Let me have a look.
Well, there it is.
Oh, there it is. Is that you talking about? Look at that.
Do you know, that's one of them, isn't it? When that happens, you go, I'm not bothered. But it's deep-seated.
I'm not bothered, Paddy. I'm not bothered.
Josh, do you feel like Rob, it's taken, it's gone to his head a little bit, the fact that he's got his own name on the title?
Yeah. I'll answer this.
You see, that is good stuff.
Good fun, isn't it?
It's good fun. We were just saying, I genuinely thought that was a river.
No.
I know, yeah.
I know. How thick am I?
I know.
We're in Hammersmith.
Right, tell us about the show.
OK, the show is called Rob Beckett Smart TV. It's a quiz panel show where it's a proper quiz about telly. And if you're watching telly, you probably like telly. You can play along at home, but it's really funny as well. Great guests. But like, we've had David Morrissey from Walking Dead, David Tennant, Kush Jumbo, Ramesh, Richard Awardi, John Richardson, some amazing... Nat Cassidy, Sonia from EastEnders.
Is it in the same vein, because I'm a little bit old school, do you remember Telly Addicts?
Yes.
Is it that
Oh, do you know what? My dad texted me and said he enjoyed it.
Did
and he never does.
Yeah.
And my mother-in-law...
And his dad's Noel
That's always
Edmonds.
encouraging from the family, isn't it? I hate everything you do, son. But this was good.
And my mother-in-law, she was watching it and playing along. There's a real play-along ability.
It's really interesting, because my son never watches me on the telly, and he watched this show and he loved it.
Really?
Yeah, he went, Mum, that was really
How's
good.
he go on? You're on everything. How's he? He must never listen. He must never watch telly. Ever.
It's not true.
Oh, turn up. Oh, God.
You've only had me moment, Paddy. You've had your moment.
I love it. I like it.
You're going to be a skid on Fortnite soon.
But I absolutely... But it kind of reminds us what we love about TV, doesn't it? It's one of them shows.
Well, what I loved about it as well, we get to see you off the leash fully. I mean, because it is after 9 o'clock, post-Watershed, we get the ruder stories, the ruder words, a type of Alison Hammond I didn't know existed.
I don't know what it is about you two. You bring out the worst in me. You really
Or
do.
the best.
Yeah. Watch Smart TV on Sky to find out.
Yeah.
So good. Well, how did you find hosting it? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I was a bit nervous because it's sort of like the sort of grown-up job, isn't it, the hosting bit? But no, it was really good fun. But when I've done panel shows before, I like it when the host is really relaxed and chilled out. So I tried to do that, really, but because...
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Oh, no, that's what I tried.
That's what you went for?
That's what I went for, yeah. But I don't know if I had any respect.
Are these both competitive?
So you're desperate to win. You're a bit of a TV nerd, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a nerd. And it felt like the natural order would be that I'd win, but somehow you tended to win, didn't you?
I think you underestimated me. I think that was the situation. You thought, oh, I was coming in just as a celebrity, but really I had brains and brawn.
I know. I've thought that for 20 years and you keep proving me wrong.
You do get a lot of pelters in it, though, don't you?
Yeah, I'd say it's close to bullying, but there we go.
It's all good fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm taking
now,
that.
quiet, me and Alison are talking.
What was David Tennant like? Was he good?
You were there!
My God. Why don't you let Paddy ask the questions about the show?
Hammond mode.
Yeah,
Tell us
sorry.
about David Tennant.
Yeah, he was good, but his team captain let him down. No, he was wonderful, David Tennant. Oh, he's so good-looking, isn't he? Like, he's got it all.
Yeah. You don't expect a Doctor Who to sort of be, like, sexy.
Yeah, should we have a little look?
Yeah, let's
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, remind yourself.
He's much more firm than I'd imagined. Yeah.
Big acting. Oh, hey! Is it nice? Get it down for the point. Nice? Yes, David! That's how you do it!
Oh, my God! Oh, my God! Yeah, it's like a raspberry heart from Game of Thrones, like a heart made out of raspberry jelly or something.
And he ate it.
David Tennant will do so much stuff. You're like,
Oh.
you don't need to do this, mate. You're Doctor Who. We'd have booked you anyway.
Have you got some Tennant stories?
Yeah. Well, it's not for this show. You're doing your podcast still?
Yes.
So I did it a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, since then, it's just gone massive. You're doing tours and everything, live stuff.
Are you taking the credit?
Yeah.
It happened when Paddy was on.
Yeah.
It went sky high.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
you can keep the credit, but I will take some of the percentage.
Well, yeah, no, it's really blew up. I think people connected with it in lockdown, and we did a big arena tour and stuff like that. But we're still going, aren't we? Every Monday morning we have a chat.
Every morning we meet up for a chat.
Yeah.
Never speak outside of it.
No.
First time I've seen you in 3 years.
Well, that kind of chat, especially with parenting, it just goes on and on. You know, you'll never dry up with that.
Never.
No, until our children leave us.
And I like the fact that you talk about, you know, daytime segues. You like a segue, don't you?
Love a segue.
A daytime TV segue.
Yeah, like, so a segue like, I'm also on tour. Can I do that?
Yeah, or last legs on tonight at 10 p.m.
Last legs on
that kind of segue.
I'm on tour, Giraffe. Tickets are available. I got the impression you were wrapping up, so I wanted to get that in because I've got a lot of tickets to shift, and it took me 2 hours to get it from Bromley.
I've got a couple of series in the pipeline, and my tour tickets are on sale. Might as well use it.
And if you just switch over the channels, Alison will be on it at some point. So just keep flicking.
Oh, listen, let me give you a plug that you need, and then you can do the segue at the end of the show.
Yeah, we've always wanted to do the grown-up
This is our future.
Smart TV airs Thursday at 9 p.m. on Sky Max, and now Rob Beckett's new tour, Giraffe.
No, that was you've read that wrong.
November. What?
That was it's on Sky TV and now. Now's a type of TV,
okay,
not now. Rob Beckett.
Listen,
modern world.
Go on Sky Max and now.
Yeah, and my tour.
And also the tour Giraffe.
Thank you.
Absolutely incredible. Kicks off on the 19th of November with tickets on sale right now.
Yes.